Hello there, and a warm welcome to this episode of the GrowVC podcasts. We're recording our fourth episode this evening, and we're here with GrowVC founders Valto, Loikkanen, and Jouko Ahvenainen. This episode is something quite personal for us, and we're calling it the Big Vision episode. So today we're going to discuss the current funding market trends, problems, and basically the reasons behind the birth of GrowVC. So starting off, let's take a topical issue from the business world. There was an article in the Economist last week about, it's actually called "The World Turned Upside Down." The point of the article is that many business innovations nowadays are actually coming from outside the rich countries, the really developed Western countries, and much more from the third world. So how do you see this, Jouko? Is this some sort of innovative driving force in the economy nowadays?
Yes, definitely. Actually, I have spent a lot of time, let's say during the last 10 years in Asia. I was first time moved to live in Malaysia in 1999, and after that spent a lot of time in different places in Asia. And I see that, for example, many places in Asia are definitely drivers of the innovations, not only manufacturing anymore. Of course, there are many other places, not Asia only. There are a lot of innovations also from Latin America and Africa. But for me, Asia is maybe the best example at the moment. And one simple example is, for example, mobile services in India. It's unbelievable what kind of innovative new services they are available already today in India that are not available, or they are not even known in more developed countries. And also, if we think the number of startups and number of entrepreneurs, it is really important new sector in many countries in Asia, and in many ways it is definitely easy to agree on the main points of this The Economist article. And what we have seen already also in our service is that many our members and users are actually coming from developing countries, and there are also more and more investors, for example, from India and Indonesia and many other locations, so that it is not only that those people are looking for money, but there are also people who have done some successful businesses and they are interested to make investments also in other entrepreneurs. And maybe one more point worthwhile to mention is that people are quite often also very open-minded in these developing countries, so that they are really looking for new solutions, and you don't get so often the answer that no, it cannot work in this way because we have always done it in another way. I just had a long discussion with some people in India who would like to work with GrowVC in Indian market, and again, very positive feeling that people are really open-minded and they want to create new models and very much a kind of can-do attitude that is important.
So it's largely, there's a different mentality in the countries outside the more established countries or more established markets right now, which is very positive to hear and to see. So this is a big change in the way businesses operate, and it poses many new requirements on the markets as well. Do you have anything to add to this, Valto?
Yeah, I could actually point also something of my own experiences more on my past businesses, and that's been on mobile accessories and mobile devices. So whenever visiting some big trade shows on those, I mean, anyone that goes into any of these big consumer electronic trade shows and walks the other alleys, not just the main big players, and goes into those kind of accessories and smaller halls where there's a lot of import and products from Asia. There's I could say there's a one kind of trend there, and I see that it's a very different mindset that what kind of Western markets how they approach the innovation and making those to products. The process is much more kind of in Western markets. It's much more analytic and speculative and kind of very fine-tuned, and a lot of ideas and different kind of concepts are kind of handled before the products go out. But when we look at the products from Asian markets, it seems to be very much different. It seems to be that, okay, we are not sure whether it should be this way or that way. Why not do all these ways? Why not just do, instead of trying to find what's the one solution, let's do them all. Let's do all 5 different models and put them all. Let's manufacture and just put it on a trade show and see what people say when they come to our booth. So I think in that sense they have already had this kind of mentality when developing products, physical products. So it's very natural that same kind of a mentality is all in all innovation, is that it's more of let's just do it and see what comes out than trying to overanalyze it without having a real feedback. And I think, as we well known, a lot of the internet services developed in Western markets these days are very much doing exactly the same model. That okay, let's just do a lot and then collect statistics and then make the decisions. Let's just try. Let's see what the users say. So in that way, in software side, it's obviously easier to change and create new products, but they were already doing that on the hardware as well. So I think that's kind of interesting perspective to ways of doing things.
Actually, one interesting point came to my mind from that comment, that when people often say that, for example, in China, that if you publish something, everybody starts to copy it, and they don't respect your IPRs, and they don't respect your patents, and so on. And of course, that is a problem there. That it easily happens that if you launch something, somebody starts to copy it. But actually, some time ago, I talked with my good friend who has now lived many years in China, and he had actually very interesting comment for this. He said that actually the attitude is different in that way, that if you do something today and you publish it, then it's a totally new competition for tomorrow, that basically somebody can take what you have done and make it better for tomorrow, and again tomorrow somebody can take what is available and make it even better for day after that. So that it's a kind of continuous competition and a kind of open development in certain way, that if somebody has done something, let's make it better, or let's have a more cost-effective way to do it, and so on. So that I still understand totally the problems of the issues that somebody copy you and that kind of things. But I think that was a really interesting point of view also, that it is not only about copying, but it is also a kind of continuous competition